What is going on, guys? Crucible here, and we are going to be doing a breakdown of the set 1, including the set 2 leaders. We're going to make a little bit of a tier list to kind of do an early prediction to see where these guys might stand come the end of Season 2 in the digital client, and obviously going into set 3 for the physical product. So, this is being spawned from this tweet by Aspira. As we can see, the North Carolina regionals just happened. Unfortunately, I was not able to go, and I really wanted to go. But having looked at this, it's kind of mind-blowing. Not really mind-blowing, but how stacked the tournament was, where everybody in attendance was basically running top coup. So I kind of wanted to look at this and hopefully come up with a tier list of some sort. And kind of predict where I think a lot of these leaders will be sitting come the end of the next season. Of course, this is subject to change because as the set 3 stuff starts to get revealed, there might be stuff that boosts a lot of these characters up. So the way I'm looking at it is I put the middle of the road tier as flex, as a means to any leader that goes here can obviously go up to A tier, can potentially go to Z tier depending on what gets revealed, but also depending on how it's played and how it's drawn, it may actually end up being bad as well. Then we have under par, which is stuff that kind of gets held back, but can maybe still leave a tiny bit of an impact. And then obviously the Monaka tier is just it's so bad. It is bad. So with that said, let's kind of jump into it. If you guys want to see more prediction style videos like this, let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe for more, and let's kind of jump into it. We're going to start with top coup, and top coup is going to go in Z tier. Now, I don't think it's surprising at all that he's going to be up here. The fact that he's got his standard draw like every other leader does. His main ability, you pay 1 energy, discard 1 card from your hand to play a tournament of power at 20,000 power or less for free onto the board. You couple this with Kefla, which Kefla then allows you to draw 1 card and then play something at a cost of 3 or less, and then play into 17. You play into the set 2 Gohan, you play into Kato Pesla, you play into there's a bunch of combinations you can do this. So just in a way, this makes top coup extremely aggressive. In fact, I did my locals over the past weekend on Saturday, and it was night and day how strong this guy is compared to a lot of the meta. He can just build that board really quickly, and especially if you double up. I found out while doing some testing with a buddy of mine, if you double up on 17s, that plus 5,000 that he gives to your leader stacks. So there is a world where you could play 3 17s, which are hard to remove off board, and get your leader up to 35,000, and it's just really hard to beat. So I think this Goku is super strong. The reason that 87% of people at regionals actually played him doesn't surprise me at all. I think he'll be top tier regardless of what gets revealed next set. I can probably foresee some sort of errata, some sort of nerf, maybe even a potential ban coming in. But top coup is just that guy. He's that guy. Next we got U7. I think U7 is going to be in a similar position to God Goku. He's able to potentially build wide, and the reason why you can build wide with him is the fact that he gives every Universe 7 card plus 5,000. So that puts, 17, who's like a crux in the top Goku deck, puts him up to 30,000 power. It puts the Gohan on your turn up to 30,000 power for 3 energy. That's really strong. And then obviously you got the turn, you got the 1 cost Friezas that were introduced in set 2, where he gets 5,000 if your leader is leader's awakened, and then with Goku he goes up to 25,000. A 25,000 power card for 1 energy is nuts. It's really strong. So, the only reason I put him in A tier and not Z tier is due to the fact that you're not playing out as much as you are with top 2. It's just like while I think U7 Goku may have a higher ceiling, this God Goku just builds so wide that I feel like it plays stuff for free as much as it does. It kind of hinders U7 just a little bit. Like, it's not like if anything, like, you'd be able to swing into top Ku stuff on board and be able to take him out with ease with the extra 5,000 that's given here. But you're just not building as wide with this guy. So I'm going to put him in A tier. Also take into account that you could just run Kefla in this deck and it's not going to really hurt you all that much. So, yeah. Next we got Beerus. I'm also going to put Beerus at A tier. Now, if we look at the tweet, other decks being run was like 13%. In the top 7 tables, I believe. Yeah, the top 7 tables, Beerus was here twice. So Beerus is just a very good extra option. You couple this with the fact that he got a lot of support in set 2 for extra KO potential, extra negging, and then on top of that, you can still run Kefla in his deck. There's no reason not to run Kefla at all. So I will put him at A tier as well. I would maybe make the argument that Beerus might be a little bit better than U7 Goku. Now, I think depending on what comes, I think U7 is just going to get stuff no matter what. I don't think there's ever going to be an instance where U7 actually like gets trumped by some of the other stuff in red, because Universe 7 is all of our Vegetas, our Gokus, our Friezas, our Gohans, our 17s, our 18s, our Krillins. U7's always going to get support. It's just always going to. But so in that case, maybe Beerus is before. Maybe Beerus goes before U7, because we're predicting going into set 3 where these guys are going to stand by the end of the season. Yeah, I'm gonna make this change. I think Beerus will still be A tier, but I think U7 is just going to outclass Beerus just by being able to boost everything up by 5,000. Yeah, we'll see. All right, we're going Goku Black. We're putting Goku Black in Flex. I think a lot of people are underestimating what the Goku Black deck is able to do with as much support as it got last set. The biggest problem with Goku Black, though, still, is 2 things. 1, your opponent can stall you out to prevent you from awakening. Not the smartest move in every instance, because crit is still a thing, but it's always a possibility. And 2, Zamasu can still brick kind of hard from what I've seen and from what I've tested. That said, he's got a lot more options. The 2-cost Zamasu that can permanently stay on board and not be removed by opponent's skills is really solid option for this guy. The 4-cost Goku Black with the bouncing potential is really good. You can incorporate a lot of the Fuse Zamasu stuff in set 2 into this deck and give yourself a little bit of a better draw engine. Maybe even give you some different late game stuff than just the 6-drop Goku Black. But I think the 6-drop Goku Black definitely is still like a crux in this deck, and definitely still needs to be something that is played rather than not. And for those reasons, I'm going to put him in Flex. I think you could maybe make the argument that he could go up to A tier. But depending on how you draw, I can also see him being under par too. Definitely not Monaka range. I think he's definitely better than I think people give him credit for, especially with all the new options. But he is a guy who you can see varying results from him, and I think that says a lot. I think this might be a bold assumption. This could be a bold assumption. I'm putting Trunks at Z. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I've been testing Trunks with a lot of the new stuff that came out in Set 2. The 3-cost Vegito that lowers your opponent's cost. the secret rare, a bunch of the new bouncing potential cards like the one drop Goten, and whatnot. Trunks was really lacking in set 1 in terms of having some stronger bodies on board. Now with like the 4-cost Vegeta, you got the secret rare that you're rolling with. I mean, the 3-cost Vegito is still, really strong. And in terms of like what, from my playtesting, in terms of what Trunks is able to do, there is even a possibility that like he may be one of the few leaders in the game right now that can actually be a answer to Topku. If you build a full Trunks control deck and utilize that lowering of cost on your opponent's board to bounce stuff back, you could really set this Goku back, because the majority of the stuff you're running in this Goku deck is going to be 4 costs or less. So you only have one Vegito on board. Trunks' leader ability can bounce 4 stuff back. Now, would you do that to Kefla? No, but I mean, Kefla, once Kefla's on board, Kefla's not a problem, really. Kefla is only a 25,000 beat stick on play. So Kefla's not the problem. It's the 17s that you would use this guy to play on. It's the Gohans that would minus stuff by 15 that you would bounce back. The double strike Rebrians that could potentially be a threat. I could, in a world where set 3's on the horizon and we're late into season 2, I could see Trunks making a resurgence and actually being the thing that answers Goku. So yeah, I would definitely put Trunks probably up at Z tier. I would think if he's not Z tier, I would maybe put him high A tier, but I'm going to put him at Z just because he is one of the few answers to Goku. Next, we got Android 17 and 18. I played a 17 and 18 at my locals, and I think it was like on turn 5 or something. They played 4 of the new dropping of the new 17 and 18 that ramps you up by discarding 2 energy and then loading 3. I think there's still the potential of you not getting the stuff that you need. I would maybe say that they're a better flex option than Goku Black is, just because they're a bit more consistent. But that said, would I put him in A? I don't think I would put him in A. I would say I'll put him in B. They're a flex option. They can be really good, and they definitely beat me when I played Topku this past weekend. And that's mainly because I bricked my hand really bad with Topku. But seeing what they're able to do and facing up against people that are playing them with the new stuff, I could definitely see a possibility where the 17 and 18 could be as good as A tier, but they could also maybe be under par too. Really kind of depends. Gohan, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to this Gohan. I want to say that he's a flex option and he could still put in some work. The problem being, though, is that Red is a lot more negging potential options. There's a lot more KO variety when it comes to like Broly, and Yellow is able to just permanently rest a lot better. Gohan, I just don't think is as viable. I think I'm gonna have to put Gohan at under par. He got some stuff. That makes him a little bit better. He's got some early game potential that'll be more consistent in terms of ramping while also playing a more aggro playstyle. But if you're not able to ramp in a consistent way, it's still at that 3 energy mark. If you are not able to pull the pieces you need to start ramping on turn 3, this Gohan does tend to fall behind. Given he's got the Goku now, which can swing 15,000 and then ramp himself into energy. You got the 2-cost Gohan for 0 combo power that basically chucks a dead energy, restands it, which gives you an option to not only play aggressive, but to play a cantrip to get some cards back in the hand. He's got some better early game options. And the Gohan and Trunks combo, I think, has potential, but it's the matter of what are you playing up against. If you're playing up against red, that Gohan to Trunks combo is not going to be beneficial in terms of ramping playstyle, and your stuff's only going to get negged off the board anyway. Again, I just don't see this Gohan being as good this set as he probably could be. Next, we have Ginyu. I see a lot of people putting him down in like a Monaka tier, or as some people call it, the Ginyu tier. I don't think Ginyu is really that bad. That being said, I will probably put him. I'm gonna put him in a low flex. Ginyu can still do some work. He can still build extremely wide and make it really hard for your opponent to have to clear board. In that SR Ginyu that's able to reset energy is just really strong for what the Ginyu deck is doing. The reason I put him at low is because of the single piece of support that they got in set 2, which is a Ginyu that boosts all Ginyu cards by 5,000. If it wasn't a Ginyu, it wouldn't be if it wasn't a Ginyu, I would probably put this guy higher in the flex. But because it is a Ginyu and you're limited because of what the SR is doing, I would say that this guy is definitely lower part of flex to under par. He's just not. He doesn't have the support he needs. Screw it. I'm gonna put him under par, and I'm gonna put Gohan below him. I think Ginyu can still put in work. A lot of yellow can still run the Ginyu engine. It's just as by the end of the season, I doubt you're gonna see much of this guy. I would say you'd probably see more Gohan than this guy. So we'll do this. He's under par. Cooler. I don't see Cooler getting much use. I'm gonna have to put Cooler in Monaka tier. Cooler, I think, has the potential to be really good. The problem being is that he got no support this set. Set 2, he got no support. He got a 1-drop Cooler, which basically lets you play the 4-drop Cooler for one turn sooner, but you're really still paying 4 energy, so it doesn't really matter. It's just it's a big waste of a card. Metal Cooler, I mean, it's a decent blocker, but this Cooler just doesn't have the support that it needs. Maybe come set 3, Cooler might get something better. But we were already seeing less and less of Cooler in set 1 towards the end of the first season, and I foresee him getting very little to no play now going into set 2, just because of red being a thing and Cooler not being able to play as much as he probably could. So I'm gonna put him in that tier. I don't know. Cooler needs something. He needs to be resurged. Next is Starter Coup. I think Starter Coup is going to fall off a little bit. Because he's a very generic leader. He doesn't really do anything too crazy. It's almost like you have to couple the Tournament of Power field card with him to really kind of get the benefit of his leader ability, to have that extra 5k on top of the leader 5k. That said, you could still run the Kefla engine. You could still do a lot of the stuff that U7 and Beerus and Top 2 are kind of doing with him. I'm just putting him here as flex because obviously he's a very generic leader that can be run with pretty much anything in red. And you could see him go up to A. You could see him be under par. It really doesn't matter much. Vegeta is kind of an odd option because while I see the explosive power that Vegeta is able to do going into this set, I don't know it going up against Top Coup with the negging and the KOing and stuff. I just don't know if it's going to be enough in a lot of cases. But that said, I would maybe argue that he would be high A tier. He doesn't have as much removal as the Trunks, and the reason Trunks is up in Z is for the removal of Top Coup. But the explosive power, Vegeta, if you play your cards right, Vegeta is able to get up to 55,000, which is the strongest ceiling I've seen for a leader. And then you couple that with the 4-drop Vegeta, who plays the Bulma for free, and you can still run the secret rare and the Vegito and stuff like that. Like, it's like this guy has a lot of potential. Like, blue's in a really good place, I think, this set. Then we got Broly. I would maybe argue that Broly could be... I'd say he's a flex. I think people are still playing Broly incorrectly. I think there's people that really are losing out on how they should be playing Broly. That said, Broly got some options in set 2. The Paragus, I don't know how much use the Paragus is going to get, but the 7-drop Broly I think will be really good. A really good option for the Broly deck. 10k combo, being able to remove something off board if you absolutely have to, and you can't get to 8-drop Broly fast enough. I think this Broly can still stand out. Couple him with like a card like Senzu Bean on defense to kind of give him a little bit of extra defense. I think Broly definitely can like flex his way up to A tier. But Red is just in such a dominant position right now that like it's really hard for me to say that he is A tier, since a lot of stuff with U7 and Topku can just outright hit him now without having to combo in. So I don't know. I think he's a flex option. I don't think he's like as good as some of the other stuff this set, but he can still do stuff. Frieza, I'm gonna put Frieza at a flex above Starter Coup. I think Frieza can still be viable. He got some things that can make him stand out over Starter Coup. He can still brings two guys back from into active mode, and Frieza got some options that allows him to kind of sustain himself a little bit longer on board. You got the double blocker King Cold. You got the 3-drop Frieza that can permanently rest when switched to active. Both of those are really good cards to have going to the end of your turn with Frieza, and allows you to kind of play a bit more restrictive on your opponent, and I think that's a good thing. So Frieza, I think, is still a solid leader. I think he's definitely aging better than a lot of the other starter leaders, but I do think that it's just Frieza doesn't have enough support from this set, honestly. Then we got Vegeta from set 2. I'm a little unsure about this guy right now. I played against him, and I think if he has the right hand, he has the possibility of actually being really good. Getting 2 energy back for free at the end of your turn can really help set you up for a good defensive turn. That being said, you're going to be running a lot more extra cards to facilitate his ability, and I think that really hurts when it comes to wanting to play stuff on board. I think realistically, I'm going to put Vegeta above Goku Black. Just only slightly. I think I'm going to put him above Goku Black slightly. Goku Black can play stuff that can actually disrupt Vegeta pretty good with bouncing effects and stuff like that. I just think that with how often Goku Black I can see getting brick hands or not drawing the stuff that they need fast enough, I think this Vegeta would stand a little bit better. His ability is just a little bit better, personally. That's just something that I believe. Then we got Zamasu fused. I think I saw some people at my locals saying that they played against Fusamasu, and Fusamasu, they were playing up against him. They took, from what they said, they took like 12 life from Zamasu, and like Zamasu just stayed at 2 the entire time. So I still want to see what like a build for this Zamasu is, but I think there's a possibility that this Zamasu can overcome Beerus, of all things. Beerus, you're gonna have to combo into him with, and I think negging would be the only thing that would actually like help help Beerus in keeping the board clear, but a lot of the Fuse Zamasu stuff is like really strong. It's really strong stuff. So it might be a little hard for Beerus to overcome some of the stronger stuff that this Zamasu plays. I would say Fuse Zamasu might actually look pretty good come the end of the season, but we'll have to see. Then we got Cell. I think Cell is A. I would maybe argue that Cell could probably be better than Zamasu. Just being able to get to turn 8 consistently. You play the 8-drop Cell, you go down to 5, you use a leader ability to go back up to 6, you use Cell Games Arena to go back up to 7, and then your next turn you're going back to 8 to play a Broly or another Cell. I think is a really good like ramp option for green. I think Cell is probably going to be the most consistent option when it comes to ramping. And just the end game cards coupling with the Cell Juniors and stuff. I think this Cell is actually going to be a sleeper. I think people are going to think very ill of Cell, but I think come the end of the season, Cell could actually be really good. So that's our tier list, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to play in the client again this week. Thursday is when the new update drops, so be sure to keep an eye out on that. But that's the tier list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What have you guys been running at your locals, at regionals? Did you go to regionals? How'd you end up faring? Let me know. Let me know. I'm curious to see how everyone's enjoying the new set. So thank you guys again for the love and support. I will see you guys all in the next Fusion World video. Peace.